From the banks of the Allegheny, welcome to Film Bits. And we are here, the last episode of No Country for Old Men. Oh my goodness, and it's going to be a goodie. Rootin' tootin' Eddie Wootin'. Let's just dive in, shall we? We're going to start this episode off with a sound that would have been non-diegetic there to Ellis that becomes diegetic when we cut scenes. And that is the grave of Agnes Krasich, who is being buried, and that is Carla Jean's mother with the cancer. You remember her? You know how many people I know in El Paso? Gives the zero sign. That's how many. We don't know how much longer after Llewellyn died this is taking place. We're just kind of jumping over to Carla Jean and her mom's house. Interesting shot here. Wide shot, but it has that kind of, again, that long vibe to it. Maybe she didn't leave that window open.
I knew this wasn't done with. I ain't got
Notice the
money.
lighting on Sugar.
What little I had is long gone, and I need to pay it. I buried my mother today. Ain't paid for that neither.
Great line here.
I wouldn't worry about it.
I need to sit down.
Sugar half in light, half in shadow. Most of him in shadow, but his lower portions are in light. And we're going to get a call back to something we saw earlier in the film.
You got no cause to hurt me.
No. But I gave my word.
You gave your word?
To your husband.
That don't make sense. You gave your word to my husband to kill me?
Your husband had the opportunity to save you. Instead, he used you to try to save himself.
Not like that. Not like you say. You don't have to do this.
People always say the same thing.
What do they say?
They say, you don't have to do this.
You don't.
Okay. This is the best I can do. Call it.
I knowed you was crazy when I saw you sitting there. I knowed exactly what was in store for me.
Call it.
No. I ain't gonna call it.
Call it.
The Coen don't have no say. It's just you.
I got here the same way the Coen did.
And we're going to pause here. Holy cow, what a powerful section that this is. Just that short couple of minutes, 3-4 minutes, whatever it was. All right, number one. Sugar is a man of his word, okay? He told Moss that Moss couldn't save himself, but he could save his wife. Well, even though Sugar isn't the one that kills Moss, he still had to pursue Moss because Moss didn't willingly hand over that money, which in Sugar's eyes means Moss's wife is still guilty. So he goes. Carla Jean pushes against him a little bit, and Sugar bends. Amazingly, Sugar bends. She argues for her point a little bit, and Sugar says, okay. and he backs down out of just straight killing her and brings out the coin. And here's how you know he was going to kill her, even if he didn't know he was going to kill her because it is Chigurh. But when she's talking about the bills and not enough money to pay for it, I said earlier, this is a great line. Chigurh says, I wouldn't worry about it. Meaning, yeah, you're not going to be paying any bills, baby, because I'm killing you right here and now. Chigurh brings out the coin, makes the flip. She pushes against him again, saying, the coin, it's just you. The coin don't have no say in this. And then, like they've been doing this whole film, the Coens foil us by not giving us the resolution. But they did, right? They did. And it's paid off by the way Anton checks his boots before I pause this clip. All of those boot things in Anton lead to this moment because the Coens know that's going to be the clue that lets us know whether Moss's wife lived or died. He checks the boots. That's because there was blood present. So Moss's wife died. Did she call the coin? We don't know. Did Chigurh have to kill her because she didn't call the coin? We don't know. Did she call wrong? We don't know. She didn't call right because Chigurh would have let her go. We've seen him do it. So, this is all now wrapped up. But look what has happened. The sheriff, our hero, is on the road to retirement. He's quit unless he suddenly had a change of mind after talking with Ellis. Moss, the only counterbalance to Chigurh and the guy that was going head-to-head with him, is dead. Chigurh has killed Moss's wife. His slate is now clean. He is done with this matter. He's not dying. He hasn't been apprehended. He's going to get away with this. Or is he? I guess that's why we got to watch the next part. Here we go. Now, this scene here is why I would never argue Chigurh as a symbol of death. I would argue him as a symbol of something else, and we're going to see that here in just a moment. Even two kids on a bike, Chigurh is concerned about. He never lets us go down. And a quick pause here. Chigurh is not a symbol of death. I believe I said it earlier in the series, but if I didn't, because death just is. But Chigurh wavers on death. He brings the coin out, which means Chigurh is much more likely an element of chance because of the coin and because of what just happened. He doesn't control chance. He is a manipulator of chance. He uses chance, and chance uses him because it looks like he's going to get away and everything is good, and then this woman runs a red light, something he couldn't prepare for, the chance of it all, and, well, it looks like severely injures him based on this picture. So Chigurh, not a symbol of death. I think we need to more symbolically tie him to chance, if that's the way we want to think about it. And also, fate isn't a good idea either. Because Chigurh wasn't fated to be hit by this car. It just kind of happened. All right, let's pick it back up. So we got a limp. We've got some blood.
Mister, you got a bone sticking out of your arm.
All right, let me just sit here a minute.
There's an ambulance coming. Man over yonder went to call.
All right.
Are you all right? You got a bone sticking out your arm.
What did you take for the shirt?
mister. I'll give you my shirt.
Look at that fucking bone.
Tie this for me. Just tie it. Just tie it.
Compound fracture.
Oh, hell, mister. Look, I don't mind helping
Again,
someone
sugar
out.
nonplussed, just like
Lot
when
of
he had
money.
the wound.
Take it in. You didn't see me. I was already gone.
Yes, sir.
You know part of that's mine, Franklin.
You still got your damn shirt.
And the Coens will use another visual effect here.
Maybe, but I'm still out of
Notice
shirt.
they faded to black when Llewellyn was dead, and we weren't going to see him again. And now we get Sugar literally walking and fading and cutting to Ed Tom in civilian clothes for the first time in this film. Wow.
Maybe
And
I'll
man,
go
do
hide.
we have the best of all
What do you think?
Moss Sugar
I can't
mirrors
blame you, Dad.
there at the very end, right?
I mean, would you care to...
He buys clothing for an injury, which is what Moss did when he was going into Mexico. Now, that's pretty cool in and of itself. But the Coens add another layer to this, okay? We also see, just this isn't the other layer, just as an aside, we also see close-ups of both Moss and Sugar handing bloodied $100 bills over to somebody. With Moss, it was the mariachi. With Sugar, it's to these boys. So he's purchased clothing. They both purchased clothing for injury purposes to help them out. They've handed bloody money over. But do you remember what the guy, when Moss is hitting the border and he wants to buy that jacket, and there's those three guys, one of the guys on the side, not the guy who he bought the jacket from, asked him a question over and over, 2 or 3 times. He asked him, "Were you in a car accident? Were you in a car accident?" And lo and behold, Sugar, even though Moss wasn't, Sugar is in a car accident. And that connects to his purchasing the clothes and giving over the bloody money. Man, is that one of my most favorite things in the entire movie. God, I love that. And it finishes us off. It totally finishes off the whole Moss, Sugar, Bell story. There it is. He walks into the sunset, if you will, into the fade, into the crossfade, never to be heard from again. Because this is our last scene. This scene right here with Ed Tom Bell, which goes for a couple minutes, and I'm not going to detail this scene. I'm not going to interpret this scene because I think this scene is so out there and really ripe for interpretation that I'm going to let you guys handle it. But basically, Ed Tom is sitting here. He's had 2 dreams. One is a very brief dream. One is a kind of longer dream. And the movie ends on Ed Tom recalling those dreams. Again, the Coens frustrating us. And a lot of people have a problem with this ending because of that. But when you get to that ending, it's all said and done. What else is there to come? Moss is dead. Sugar has gotten away with the money. And Ed Tom Bell has retired. And it's a very cynical take on this entire situation. But also a very realistic one. Because as we saw from the 80s on, drug problems got worse and worse and worse. And they started infecting more and more areas, et cetera, et cetera. Really quickly, on our character types, our archetypes. I read Moss as an anti-hero. I read Bell as a flawed hero. And I read Sugar not as a villain, but as an anti-hero. I think with Moss, it's very easy to see. He finds $2 million. He should, if he's a hero, take that money to the law, but he doesn't. He keeps it for himself, and probably very realistically, he's not living in the best conditions. They're not making the most money. He knows that money is untrackable by legal means because it was part of a drug deal. So it seems like a perfect kind of lottery ticket he cashed. Ed Tom Bell, here's a guy that's run from crime headlong until the very end. avoided things that were connecting to this drug murder, avoided things that were connecting to Chigurh until the very end when he had to. And by then it was empty bravery, because even though he was brave against his own imagination. He thought Chigurh was in the motel room, but he wasn't. So while it's the bravest thing we've seen Ed Tom do, it's really empty because there is no Chigurh there. The next thing we see Ed Tom do is talk to Ellis about retiring. And then the next time we see Ed Tom, he has retired. So that leaves us with Chigurh. Chigurh did not kill one person that would not benefit him. If you go back to every death, there's a reason that person died. I'm not saying it was a excusable death, but in Chigurh's mind and in this world, he's very good at what he does. In the context of the underworld and the bad guys, he's very good at what he does. He's not a psychotic killer, randomly killing people. Everyone who died by his hand had to die for his purposes. And please hit me in the comments if you disagree with that. So to me, I root for Chigurh because the man is a bad dude. And he's got these weird, principles, morals, whatever you want to call them. But he's got that going too. So I call him an anti-hero. I will not call him a villain. I refuse to. Another interesting thing is, he doesn't kill Moss off. He doesn't kill the guy we're rooting for off. So he's not a villain there. And he doesn't kill off Ed Tom, who would be the next closest thing as far as our major characters go. So he's not a villain there. All right. Anyway, in my mind, the Coen brothers' greatest movie. If you have not watched other films by the Coen brothers, look them up on Wikipedia, check them out. Almost all of their stuff is fantastic. They're not all to this level, but they've got a couple really nice films out there like The Big Lebowski and Fargo and Miller's Crossing. A lot of really good flicks. All right, Film Bits. No Country for Old Men. Done. I'm coming back, though. I'm coming back with something soon. Then next time, I've got Film Bits 2 Cups of Joe. I've got Film Bits Film School with my students. And I'll be coming back with another film that I want to break down somewhere down the road before summer. Thank you all who have watched me any part or the whole kit and caboodle. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon.